Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing my hair journey, routine, and tips. So it is going to be a little bit of a longer video since I do have so much information I want to share with you guys. Feel free to take notes. That's what I do whenever I'm watching a YouTube video where I might be learning something new. And also I'm going to provide the links for all of the makeup I'm wearing as well as this bodysuit and any other accessories in the description down below. This is something I plan on doing in most of my videos, if not all of my videos from here on out. So again, make sure to always check the description if you are interested in those things. Also, if you guys enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up at any point during it. It is the #1 way you can support my YouTube channel. So with all of that aside, without further ado, let's get into it. So from the time I was born to the time I was first diagnosed with cancer in March of 2013 at 16 years old, my hair always had a really hard time growing. So much so that when I was little, my mom took me to the doctor in order to help figure out why. Then when I got older, my hair was very thick, it was very dry, it was very frizzy, and overall just hard to manage. So by the time I started high school, I was flat ironing my hair almost every single morning, which only made it that much more dry and that much more damaged. Then on October 1st of 2013, I completed all of my treatments for that first diagnosis, and by that point I had lost all of my hair. So this was the first opportunity for my hair to start growing back and for me to take care of it the right way. I was diagnosed with cancer a second time in September of 2014. However, during that diagnosis, I received 3 completely different chemotherapies than I did during my first diagnosis. And those 3 chemotherapies only caused about 1/3 of all of my hair to fall out as opposed to all of my hair. And since my hair has always been so thick, nobody could even tell that I had lost any of it. But at the same time, I always felt like even after I completed all of my treatments, not all of my hair ever fully grew back until I started taking 2 scoops of this Vital Proteins collagen peptide powder every single day for about 3 months. Now, before I continue, I want to say that this video is not sponsored. All of the products that I'm going to be talking about, including this one, are really products that I have used and continue to use. So with that aside, I actually found this protein powder not because I was looking for any sort of way to supplement my hair growth. Instead, during my second cancer diagnosis, I started to teach myself about living a much healthier lifestyle, and I decided to go vegan for just under 2 years. And once I completed all my treatments for that second diagnosis, I began to become very active again. I was working out about 5 times a week, and so I was taking this organic vegan protein powder. But the problem was that, like a lot of other vegan protein powders, is that it had both grains and gums in it. And grains and gums can be very hard on your digestive system. And so that really wasn't a good match for me because after I had received all of my cancer treatments, my digestive system was severely impaired. So I needed to focus on only eating foods that were as easy to digest as possible. So I started doing research on those kinds of foods, and that's actually how I was able to find this. However, like I said, after 3 months of taking 2 scoops of this every single day, or at least almost every single day, I should say, I started to notice all these little baby hairs around the front of my scalp growing in that had never been there before. And I also noticed that my hair was growing by far faster and longer than it ever had been before. And even my nails started growing faster and longer than they had ever been before. And the reason why is because collagen is the most abundant protein in your body. So when you are supplementing with it, it can help promote your hair growth, your nail growth, your skin elasticity, as well as many other things. And the reason I chose to go with this collagen peptides protein powder specifically is because Vital Proteins sources all of their collagen products from grass-fed cows. And the way I took this is just by adding it in my smoothie almost every single day. It is completely flavorless. It dissolves very easily, so you won't have clumps or anything like that you're drinking. And you want to be very careful when you are adding this to a smoothie, especially if you're making your smoothie in a blender like I do, because you can damage the collagen. So what I like to do is I will put everything that I want in my smoothie in the blender, and I'll go ahead and blend it up before I add this. Then once everything in my blender has been blended, at the very end, I will add 2 scoops of this, and then I will put it on the lowest setting possible and let it blend for maybe 3 seconds. That's really all you need for it to mix well in your smoothie. And again, it's completely flavorless, so you will not taste it. That means you can also put it in things like soups as well, and it is able to maintain all of its properties when you expose it to heat, so that's why you can put it in soups. However, I just have always stuck with adding it in my smoothies. But again, make sure you are not blending this on high because you can damage the collagen. So if you guys want to check this out for yourselves, I will make sure to provide a link to it down below. Now for my hair routine. I only wash my hair about once a week, every single week. You really don't want to be washing your hair any more than 1 to 2 times a week, because if you do, you risk drying your hair out. So when I do wash my hair, I will get in the shower and I will rinse it with lukewarm water. The reason you want to use lukewarm water as opposed to very cold water or hot water is because lukewarm water will open up your hair shaft so that any products that you're using, like shampoos and conditioners, for example, can really get into your hair. Then once I've done that, I take my Yuzu and Pomelo glossing shampoo from 100% Pure. And the reason I use this one is because every single ingredient in this shampoo is 100% clean, which is much harder to find than you may think. A lot of companies claim to also sell clean shampoos, for example. However, I've found that 99.9% of the time, even when they advertise that, I don't feel comfortable with every single ingredient that they put in there. So this is one of the only ones I've been able to find with 100% clean ingredients. And also, what differentiates this one from all the other ones that may also have 100% clean ingredients is that the first ingredient in this shampoo is organic aloe vera leaf juice. And that's a big deal because most of the shampoos that you will find on the market have aqua as their first ingredient, aka water. In fact, go grab your shampoo right now and check what the first ingredient is. And that's significant because whenever you are reading the ingredient label for any product, the ingredients are always listed in order of what there is the most of in that product to what there is the least of. So the reason that so many companies choose to use aqua as opposed to aloe vera leaf juice as their first ingredient, aka the ingredient that makes up a majority of the product, is because water is a lot cheaper to use than aloe vera leaf juice is. So not only is this shampoo 100% clean, but it also has higher quality ingredients than most shampoos that you will find on the market. Now, no matter what shampoo you choose to use, you always want to make sure you are only applying it to your scalp. And the reason why is because shampoos are very cleansing. They're meant to get rid of any dirt and dust and any sort of other impurities that may be either on your scalp or in your hair. So if you are using shampoo not only on your scalp, but also all the way down your hair where it doesn't need as much cleansing, you could be drying the rest of your hair out. And also, when you are working the shampoo into your scalp, you want to make sure, 1, you are not using your nails, and 2, you are not going in circles like this because that could be creating knots and tangles. Instead, you just want to go like this, gently massage your scalp until you have gotten everything that you want off of it. So then once I have done that, I rinse my hair again with lukewarm water to keep that hair shaft open. And then I will go ahead and I will take my Yuzu and Pomelo Glossing Conditioner, and I will apply this to everywhere except my scalp. And the reason why is because unlike shampoos, conditioners are meant to be a lot more hydrating and or nourishing for your hair. So if you are applying this to your scalp, you could be making your scalp a lot more oily than it needs to be, and that might lead you to wash your hair more often than it otherwise would need to be washed, which could cause your hair to get damaged. So I only use this again for everywhere except my scalp. And what I do is I make sure that I put a lot, especially, at the ends, and I will grab my wet brush that I have here, and I will work from the ends up. The reason you want to work from your ends up is because if you are starting all the way up here and you are pulling on your hair, you risk breaking your hair, especially when it is wet, because when your hair is wet, it is a lot more flexible and prone to breakage and other kinds of damage than when it is dry. So whenever you are detangling your hair after you have conditioned it, always start from the bottom, grab it like this, and just very gently and slowly work your way all the way up your hair until you have gotten all of the tangles out. Then I allow my my conditioner to set as long as possible by washing my face, shaving my body, doing whatever else I need to do in the shower. And then I will rinse it all out again with lukewarm water to keep the hair shaft open for my final step. My final step is to take organic apple cider vinegar. I have this one right here. I picked this one up in a 2-pack from Costco. However, I also used to use Bragg's apple cider vinegar. Either one works. I usually keep it in the refrigerator until I'm going to use it for my hair. So once I have it, I will go ahead, shake it up evenly, and then I will take a measuring cup. I like to use my glass measuring cups, and I will fill it up to 1/4 of a cup with this apple cider vinegar. Then I will put this under my shower head, and I will fill the rest up to the 1 cup mark with water. Then I will grab all of the ends of my hair and I will allow them to sit in here and soak for about 1 minute. Then once it's been a minute, I take this, I pour it over my scalp and try to get the rest of my hair. And then I very gently just work it into my scalp. I just go like this and get it through the rest of my hair as best as I can. Let it sit for about a minute again. And then you want to go ahead and rinse it all out really well. As long as you rinse your hair out well, your hair will not smell like apple cider vinegar. And when I do rinse it, I make sure to, unlike all the other times I've rinsed it before, use very cold water. And that's because very cold water is supposed to promote hair shine. I don't know if that's true. However, I'm just not willing to take the risk. So I put myself through it every time anyways. And also, one thing I forgot to mention is the reason I use apple cider vinegar as a final step for my hair is because it is said to also promote hair shine, just overall hair growth. I've also heard that it can help get rid of dandruff, just a lot of different benefits. You guys can go ahead and research it yourselves if you want to. So again, that is why I use that. Then once I've done that, I get out of the shower, and this might be my biggest tip so far, and that is to not wrap your hair in a towel. And the reason why is because, like I said earlier, when you wrap when your hair is wet, it is a lot more flexible and prone to damage. So when you are pulling it back by putting it in a towel, you may experience alopecia, aka hair loss, all right here, especially at the front of your scalp, which we obviously don't want to do. So instead of doing that, I just put all of my hair over my bathtub and I start from the top and I just squeeze. I don't pull, I just squeeze all of the excess water out of my hair all the way till I get to the ends. And I might do that, say, 2 more times. Again, start from the top and gently squeeze any excess water out. Then once I've done that, I allow my hair to begin air drying. I never use any sort of heat tools ever. And I allow it to do that by continuing all of my skincare, putting lotion on my body, whatever else I need to do. And then once I've completed all of those things, I put my hair in a protective hairstyle. And for those of you who don't know, a protective hairstyle is exactly what it sounds like. It is a hairstyle that is meant to protect your hair from damage. So for me, I usually just do a really simple braid, and then I go ahead and I secure the bottom with this slip silk hair tie. The reason I decided to invest in these is because they are very high quality, non-toxic hair ties, and silk is supposed to be very gentle on your hair so it won't cause any damage or anything else like that. So that is what I use for that. However, when I need extra hold, I use my burly bands. I found these on Amazon about 3 to 4 years ago, and I have stuck with them since. They are made for very wavy, very thick, very curly hair. And the reason why is because they will maintain their shape and not snap no matter how much you pull on them. And also they are meant to not damage your hair. They can hold a lot of hair in place, unlike a lot of cheaper hair ties. So again, I use these when I need more hold, and I use these when I don't need as much hold. So these are usually when I'm exercising, and these are usually on my wrist for whatever else I may need them for. Another thing I forgot to mention is that when I get out of the hair, and when I get out of the shower, oh my goodness. When I get out of the shower, I part my hair down the center with this comb. The reason I got this comb is because it's made out of wood, so it is a lot more sustainable than plastic is. Also, wood is supposed to be much better to use on your hair than plastic. I never use this portion. I literally just bought it for this portion to part my hair. This is my go-to for that, so this is what I use if you guys want to go ahead and check that out. And then a third and final thing I forgot to mention is this organic scalp oil serum. So I actually bought this about 2 months ago. However, I haven't used it long enough or consistently enough to say whether I have noticed any difference in my hair. But I did want to mention it to you guys because the reason I bought it is because it is such a high quality product. It is from Blue Beautifully, but again, I haven't used it long enough to say whether I've noticed a difference, but I think if you're really serious about hair growth, this might be something that you are interested in checking out. So the final thing I want to say before I close this video out is if you are doing everything right for your hair, you are eating right, you are drinking enough water, you are not using damaging heat products on your hair and so on, and yet your hair just still doesn't seem to grow or just still seems very thin, you might want to consider getting your thyroid checked. Your thyroid is this gland at the base of your neck, and symptoms of an underactive thyroid, for example, which is known as hypothyroidism, include cold hands, cold feet, sparse eyebrows, thin hair, as well as so many other things. I believe this is the main contributor toward my very, very slow hair growth when I was younger. And the reason why I think that is because every single woman in my family has Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune disorder of your thyroid. My mom has it, my grandma has it, all of my grandma's sisters, my great grandma had it. So if you guys are interested in that, I will provide a link to these 2 books down below. These are both written by probably the #1 thyroid expert, Isabella Wentz. If you're trying to choose between the 2, I'd go with this one because I do believe this is the latest version. You guys can see I've marked both of mine up really, really well. I refer to these pretty often. Both of these books have taught me pretty much everything I need to know about my thyroid health. In fact, when I go to the doctor, I now know what tests to ask him or her for because I have informed myself about them by reading these books. Trust me when I say that most doctors do not know all of the labs, for example, that they should be ordering for your thyroid. So that is why it is so important to make sure that you guys are informing yourselves about your own health, because ultimately at the end of the day, if you see a doctor and the doctor doesn't order everything that he or she should be ordering, or doesn't do everything that he or she should be doing in order to better your health, that falls back on you. The doctor goes home and lives their life, and you continue to live with any sort of health ailments that you may be living with. So that is the end of my hair journey, routine, and tips video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, please give this video a thumbs up if you learned something new or you enjoyed this video, or both. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.